The Hex Hollow Murder. In the shadow of Pennsylvania's rolling hills lies a tale darker than the moonless nights that blanket York County. This is not fiction. This is the story of the Hex Hollow Murder of 1928, a case where superstition turned deadly. Nelson Rehmeyer was a quiet man who lived alone in a small farmhouse in what locals called Hex Hollow. On a bitter November night, three men approached his home: John Blymeyer, Wilbert Hess, and John Curry. The youngest was just 14. Blymeyer, a troubled man plagued by mental illness, had become convinced that Rehmeyer was a powwow doctor, a practitioner of Pennsylvania Dutch folk magic. More specifically, he believed Rehmeyer had hexed him, causing his years of misfortune and suffering. A local witch doctor named Emma Gingerich had told Blymeyer there was only one way to break the curse: obtain a lock of Rehmeyer's hair and his copy of The Long-Lost Friend, a book of folk remedies and hexes, and bury them 6 feet underground. That night, the three confronted Rehmeyer in his home. When he refused to hand over the book or allow them to cut his hair, violence erupted. They beat the 60-year-old man, strangled him with a rope, and crushed his head. To cover their tracks, they doused his body with kerosene and set it ablaze. But the fire died out. When authorities discovered Rehmeyer's body days later, the evidence remained intact. What makes this case particularly chilling is not just the brutality, but the genuine belief behind it. Court records show that Blymeyer truly believed in hexes. During the trial, he sat rocking back and forth, muttering incantations to protect himself. All three were convicted. Blymeyer and Hess received life sentences, while Curry, due to his youth, served 10 years. The murder house still stands today in what's now called Rehmeyer's Hollow. Locals report strange phenomena: unexplained lights, shadowy figures, and an overwhelming sense of dread that falls upon visitors. Some claim to hear Rehmeyer's desperate final moments, replaying like a horrific record that never stopped spinning. Perhaps most disturbing was what authorities found in Rehmeyer's home: evidence suggesting he actually did practice folk magic. Among his possessions was indeed a copy of The Long-Lost Friend, alongside strange symbols carved into door frames and hidden hexes designed to protect his property. The irony is palpable. Rehmeyer was killed for being a witch, and evidence suggests he may have actually practiced the very craft he was murdered for. Was justice served, or did something darker occur that night? Some locals whisper that Blymeyer wasn't insane at all, that he understood something about Rehmeyer that others couldn't see. The case forced a community to confront the old-world beliefs that still lurked beneath its modern veneer. Even today, some Pennsylvania Dutch communities still practice powwow, a tradition of folk magic and healing that dates back centuries. In Rehmeyer's Hollow, the past never fully fades away. Neither does the question: in a world where such ancient beliefs can lead to murder, what other forgotten powers might still be working their influence just beyond our understanding? Sleep well tonight, and if you feel a sudden chill, perhaps it's just the wind, or perhaps it's something else entirely.